Alrighty, this is Armand. You know him through some classes, and I'm going to teach him today first how to put the bassoon together. So the bassoon is kind of the most complicated looking instrument, and there are a lot of keys that make putting it together a little bit challenging. So this is going to be your bottom joint. You can tell because it always has this little boot on it, and it's called the boot joint. So this is going to be on the bottom. I usually when I'm putting it together, I usually put this right between my legs to give it a good balance point. And then you have these two, you see the two holes up there, that's going to be these two separate joints. You have your tenor joint and your bass joint. So you're going to want to take the tenor joint first, and you see there's the curve on the inside of the instrument. So you're going to want that curve to line up with the hole. Another way to check it is you have this bridge key, like you have on a clarinet, and you want that to line up with, you want that to bridge over there. So, and then you can just kind of squish it in. I usually just, like twist it or just push it straight down. Yeah, that looks great. Now turn it around, and I just want to show you why that's right. So you see how the curve of this is lined up with that curve. So that's what you want. And now you're going to take the bass joint and put it in the other hole, obviously. But for a hot second, I want you to put it on the ground now. Put the boot joint on the ground. Now you see there's this hole in the top of it. This is going to go into that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you just want to line that up and then just like push it. I usually just put my hand on top of it and smush it down. Yeah. That looks good. And then just click that over.
What? Oh, okay.
Just
Gotcha.
like that. I'm going to put that back.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not hard. Those are the most tricky joints because that's where the most keys are. Keep it on the ground for one more time. And we're going to do, this is the bell.
Right.
It doesn't quite look like a bell. But you see there's another bridge joint right here. So find where that bridge happens. Awesome. And just smush it together. Yeah. And it's okay if it's not perfectly in line because all that matters is that when that lifts, that closes.
Okay.
So you did that. So there is your basic bassoon, and then on bassoon the most important piece for sound is the vocal, which is going to be this guy. So that's pretty clearly going to go in here.
Right.
You can tell which direction it goes because this little thing has to be covered by that, exactly. So and then just squish that all the way in until that pad is in line with the hole. And you can close the hole with your finger or close the pad with your finger to make sure that it's in line. If you just go, yeah, that looks great. All right, now I want you to stand up for a hot sec for me, and I'm gonna put the seat strap down for you. So the bassoon's gonna hang to your right side.
Right.
So I'm putting the hook to the right, and I'm just gonna guess where this might lay for you since you're taller than I am. And I just want you to go ahead and sit down right there. And now if you look at the bottom, there's a hook on the bottom of the instrument, so go ahead and hook that through the thingy. Yeah, perfect. Now let that hang.
Okay.
Great. And now turn the instrument to your face.
Oh, hello.
Alright, so knowing what you know about setup on the saxophone, what do you think we need to change about the seat strap? Do you think, so go ahead and sit straight up. Act like you're going to put the vocal in your mouth.
Well, it has to be higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and I'll hold this for you.
Okay.
Stand up a little bit and scooch it. Yeah. So now let's try that.
Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
Alrighty. And now that looks like it's about right.
Okay. Yeah,
Awesome. And now you see we have our reed, a little cup of water, soak in. And now this is a little bit different than saxophone because saxophone you usually just soak it in your mouth, right?
Right.
But since there are 4 sides of the reed that need to be soaked, you usually like to, because on saxophone there's only the 2.
Right.
There's the 2 blades, so 4 sides of the reed. So we usually soak bassoon and oboe reeds in water, just the double reeds. So here's this. You can go ahead and just
Alright.
yeah. And so that looks like a really good setup of the bassoon. Awesome, 5 minutes. That's exactly what I thought. So, yeah, and the fingerings feel pretty similar on the front to saxophone and clarinet. Yeah. So you got the 2 holes, and then yeah, it's
Mm.
gonna be down there like that.
Okay.
And for beginning, your left thumb is pretty standard going to be on this little guy at the bottom, and that's going to be called your whisper key.
Okay.
So you can think of that if you keep only the whisper key down, so everything off the horn, yeah. That's going to be your F. So let's see if we can make that sound. Yeah, so you're going to put both of your lips on the reed, and you're going to think that you're in the middle of a yawn, or that there's like a golf ball in the back of your throat. So it's going to be very wide, and then you're just going to have both lips around the reed corner. Make sure that you're bringing your corners very far in, and it should be pretty relaxed. But really focus on those corners. Yeah. And now I know you've done a little bit of clarinet.
Mm-hmm.
So what is an E on a clarinet?
Oh, it's like
Just one step down from that F.
Yeah, it's just the one finger, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Do the F. That's the E, and now the D. And C. Yeah, perfect. So that's going to be the first couple notes on the bassoon that, as you can see, are super similar to that of clarinet. Now the B flat, if we're thinking of an F major scale, is a little bit different than on clarinet. On clarinet, that it's just 1, but on bassoon, just 1 is a B natural. So it's actually going to be, the B flat is going to be 1 and 2.
Okay.
On your right hand.
Oh.
Sorry, all 3 in your left hand.
Okay.
1 and 2 in your right hand, and then this little sliver key, the top thumb key in the back, and you're going to keep this whisper key down. Yeah. And then just go ahead and lift up that thumb for the A, just like on clarinet. And then the G is same as clarinet. And then F is going to be the top pinky key, which is backwards from clarinet, so it's going to be this one.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you. So this is your bottom one,
Mhm.
and this is the top one.
Okay.
So it's going to be that top. Yeah. Awesome. Now, can we try just an F major scale? So just all those notes we played, but we're going to ascend this time, and we're just going to do it in half. Ready? 3, 4. It's okay. I have trouble with that note
Wait.
too. So that's that, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Now my goal for this lesson is for you to be able to play that F major scale in half notes confidently.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is I want you to play that C, and then I just want you to go in half notes first. I want you to do 2 half notes, C, B flat, C, B flat, and then quarter notes C, B flat, C, B flat. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
So show me what that C is. Great. Show me what that is. Great. Now I'll count you off in half notes. 3, 4. Great, yeah. So the fingers worked. You might have run out of breath, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Now, let's just practice. Let's do that same thing, but going from B flat to A, to feeling that thumb coming off the back of the instrument. Check where your thumb is. Check where your thumb is.
Oh.
So there you go. Awesome. So we're gonna have same thing. 3, 4. what I think that means is that you're not setting your embouchure right away.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you feel that crack, then you feel it and you bring those corners back in. But what I want you to think while we just do a descending scale, a descending F major scale, is to really, before you start playing, set those corners and really make sure that they're into the reed. So let's try just descending, because that's what we did first. So we'll start on that higher F, the thumb only F.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How should I be like balancing this?
Yeah. So you just kind of the way I feel most of the weight right here in
Okay.
this hand, and then you, and then your right hand is just kind of for support of the rotation of the instrument, and then your left hand keeps it upright.
Okay.
So let's try in half notes F descending. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So let's go just from the C.
Yeah.
Half notes.
Yeah.
3, 4. From the C.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
3, 4. Awesome. Let's go from that.
A.
Let's go from A.
Yeah.
3, 4. Awesome. Yeah. So your fingers were perfect that time.
Mhm.
Now, what I want you to think, we're going to do that from that A one more time.
Okay.
And what I want you to think is, remember that golf ball in the back of your
Okay.
mouth. And remember that yawn, so your soft palate's going to be real. Ooh, type of thing. Yeah, so it's kind of like a oh vowel, if that's
Oh.
how you like to think. So right from that A again, in half notes. 3, 4. Perfect. Except for that last one.
Yeah.
But the beginning of this
Yeah.
note sounded great. So now, in the interest of time, let's try the F major scale. We'll go a little bit slower, but we're going to do coordinates. Ready? 3, 4. One more time.
Yeah.
Think where your thumb should go. Preset where your right thumb should go.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? From the top F. 3, 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
B flat, so
Yeah.
that was great. We are out of time.